In 1978, the leaders of Egypt and Israel met with President Jimmy Carter at the presidential retreat at Camp David, Maryland. In 1979, Anwar Sadat and Menachem Begin signed a permanent peace agreement based off the Camp David Accords. Egypt and Israel officially began a diplomatic relationship and reinstated trade between them.
Mr. President, how is it going, Mr. President?
I take the fact that he develops weapons of mass destruction very seriously. But we can't let the world's worst leaders blackmail, threaten, hold freedom-loving nations hostage with the world's worst weapons.
That Saddam Hussein had all manner of weapons of mass destruction, and he was likely to give them to terrorists. Okay, this is after 9/11, right? Fear, fear, fear. Now, he didn't have all manner of weapons of mass destruction. We former intelligence analysts knew that, and we warned the president with 3 memoranda before the war, don't listen to this. This is contrived. It's not a mistake. It's fraud.
When the Syrian conflict began 6 years ago, many expected Bashar al-Assad to be swiftly removed from power. But not only has the Syrian president clung to his position, he now seems to be winning the war, something Assad knows he owes in large part to the Russian government.
I would like to express my gratitude for all you've done on behalf of the Syrian people.
An overwhelming Russian air campaign has helped Assad regain control of 50% of the country and crush the Islamic State group's presence in the region. Moscow also played a diplomatic role, launching its own series of peace talks in Astana and mediating several ceasefires. Vladimir Putin reiterated his intention to remain involved in the political process.
God's enemies, from the Jews, Christians, atheists, Shiites, apostates, and all of the world's infidels, have dedicated their media, money, army, and munitions to fight Muslims and jihadists.
South Sudan's President Salva Kiir and his Ethiopian counterpart Abiy Ahmed have agreed that the IGAD-led peace process to resolve conflict in South Sudan offers a viable chance. This after a meeting in Addis Ababa on Wednesday, where the two leaders discussed regional peace and stability.
Excellencies, we need to act, and act now.
IGAD said the talks ended after several attempts to narrow the gaps between the positions of the parties proved fruitless. Tens of thousands have been killed and more than 4 million people have been displaced by violence, which began in December 2013 with fighting between soldiers loyal to President Salva Kiir and his former deputy, Riek Machar.
I'm looking around the room. I see that the reaction is positive. I don't hear any objections. So the Paris Agreement for the climate is accepted.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord. The Paris Climate Accord is simply the latest example of Washington entering into an agreement that disadvantages the United States.
The United States is the one who invented this multilateralism. You are the one now who has to help to preserve and reinvent it. By polluting the oceans, not mitigating CO2 emissions, and destroying our biodiversity, we are killing our planet. And I'm sure one day the United States will come back and join the Paris Agreement.